So I just wrapped up the process here, got the new plate, finally titled it. Hadn't done that up until this point because it'd been in and out of the shop. I only put 1,000 miles on it. In and out of the shop, just like getting this little thing, that little thing, ran it a little bit. Needed window motors, you know, all that little stuff. So just got it wrapped up as far as the title goes and the tag goes. And the process is so old school when you look at how they transfer assets, and even just how they how we don't account for like all the repair bills that were just done on this thing. Like I just put, I don't know, probably $4.5, $5 or so, like in mechanical work. Like I got everything on this thing, like batteries, cables to the batteries, pulleys, belts, all fluids, anything that wasn't wrong. Cigarette lighter that wasn't working, got that all, like a whole new assembly, brake pads, rotors, master cylinder, slave cylinder, I mean, all that stuff. There's no record of it. And so an NFT, a non-fungible token for trading assets like vehicles in the future could be a huge solution. I mean, now in the short term, those things are pretty much used to money launder. It's pretty obvious. It's like the best form of money laundering right now. It's the most efficient form for sure. But in the future, you could use an NFT to basically trade this asset, the title, all this paperwork, and it could be like immediately like on file with the state of Florida. It could be from the previous owner to the new owner. It could have every record on the vehicle that's ever been done, and all that could just be basically in like a thumb drive if you think about it like that. And you can have one NFT token, two, whatever, to divide ownership out. Be easy as all. But in the future, all assets will eventually just be like a digital record, and it would be way more efficient, and it wouldn't cost as much. I mean, I'm sure they're still going to want to tax you. I think it cost me like all in all, like I don't know. I had to re-register the boat and stuff while I was there, but all in all, it probably cost me a few $100, taxes, tag, all that stuff. And theoretically, it could be done a lot cheaper, a lot faster using an NFT. I'm not saying it's going to happen like tomorrow, but I'm just saying that that's where these things are going. So whenever you hear people are like, oh, cryptocurrency is a scam, this, that, it's like, well, how are you going to trade and buy NFTs? Like, are you going to use your Bank of America account? Like, how's Bank of America going to do it? Now, obviously, FedCoin can come about. Other digital forms of payment could come out. I get it. But, like, the point there being is, like, we have to have a record of figuring out how to do this. Volt chain could work. There's so many different solutions. It's on a totally different other video. But just wanted to point out that when you see these NFTs, and yeah, I think they're in a bubble phase, but I wouldn't write them off. I wouldn't just Peter Schiff about it and be like, oh, that'll go to zero. Like, no, it would make sense instead of having literally a stack of paperwork here for the title and tag, and that's not even counting all the like the literal invoices. Like I probably have 7 invoices on this truck at this point in time, just from the time that I got the truck back, not from the time that I bought this truck when it had 62,000 miles on it, from like the guy previous to that who had, you know, obviously records on it. It would just be cool had this thing had every record, and I have most of them in a book, and I keep that on all my vehicles. But I'm just saying, moving forward, that's what these NFTs are going to be used for. And so anyway, that was the story of the old 7.3, hard money loan against it. I guess I forgot to say in that loan previously, like, yeah, I ran one through a family because I have the option to do that. I realized not everybody has that option. And I had other assets I could have pulled from, other buckets, but I didn't want to touch those buckets. And so I went to like a big cash bucket that was sitting there doing nothing. And I was like, hey, can I have some of this cash bucket? And, you know, I'll put up metal for it. And wake some people up like, hey, you know, kind of cool that Trav brought over a freaking bucket of metal literally for a cash loan on it. But you can do that right through like the vault in Canada, for example. You can keep your metal in the Brinks vault there, or other vaults. You've got Dakota, North Dakota. There's other ones in Miami. There's several places to do this, but literally you can loan against your metals if you're paying custody. With Brinks, it's fully insured, all that type of stuff. If you're interested in that, on how you could do that and have some of what I call your base level of your portfolio, because I believe like in 10% of my portfolio, and actually being that cryptos, and I mean they're in a down spiral now a little bit, but cryptos have done so well and I haven't rebalanced it, and Florida real estate has done so well and I haven't balanced it. I'm actually less than 10% of my total holdings right now in precious metals, so I'm trying to like increase it. But base investing, in my opinion, should be at 10%. I think over the next year or two, I'm going to increase that to like 25 or 30% as we get closer to this little shabackle, I think. But when you have that base, you can loan against that base. You can also do this with crypto. You can do this with Bitcoin. So you can loan against your Bitcoin. And you can go on like Coinbase.com. I don't love the interest rate. It's like 8%. If you loan against metals, it's way cheaper. You can get like really, really low interest rates because the metal value is literally there. If you want to loan against gold, you can get like very good interest rates. But this is like an actual financial tool that very wealthy people use. And if you can move that around the world, like basically like without tax for the most part. So you can actually buy it with your IRA. If you have a Roth IRA and you want to make 10% of your Roth IRA base metals, you can do that. You can buy base metals in your Roth IRA, and I can help you figure that out. So nonetheless, future videos on the metals, but I would love to. I'll put my email below, but if you're like, yo, I want to purchase metals or want to have metals stored on my behalf, I'm licensed at this point in time to do that. So nonetheless, NFTs for transferring all this paperwork in the future, I definitely think that that's going to be the way. And the ability to loan against good capital, whether it's crypto, whether it's gold, whether it's silver. Sometimes you can do it. You can definitely do that against land. People do it all the time. But when you have assets and you can loan against them to purchase additional assets, and then you don't have to commingle your funds. And that gave me that window to sell one vehicle, reduce some of my overhead, open up some spaces this weekend. I've got to like figure out in the barn here how I'm going to put all the vehicles in here, but they should all theoretically fit. And I didn't have any stress doing it. So anyway, guys, thank you for following along. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and until next video, I will see you in the comments.